Hey guys, it's Ted Gravlin with the video tip of the day today, and today we're going to talk about successful sales process. It's something we don't talk about a lot. It just kind of comes up once in a while. It's actually one of the more important things we can do in our business, though, is to build a really good successful sales process, because on the marketing side, it's the last step of the marketing funnel. If you've seen me talk about funnels and stuff before, but it's the last piece that makes people say yes, so that you can get revenue from the customer, solve their problems and all that things. And the real key to it is being able to build a solid process that works all the time. And so a lot of people here, I'm assuming I'm talking to owners today. So if you're an owner and you're still a small company, you're still doing all the sales yourself, this definitely applies to you. If you're growing, it especially applies when you grow past that, though, because you're going to have all these steps in place on purpose, or else you're really going to have a lot of heartburn trying to have other people doing your sales, instead of just you. So as we always say, you want to act like the company you want to be, not the one you are. So the trick to this is start getting all these things in place before you start to really try to grow too much, because it gets to be really hard to unravel it later. So again, successful sales process. So the first step is you have to have price books, and what that means is you have to have printed book prices for the replacement sales you're making. And I know people are going to argue about this, but there's a lot of reasons why you should do it, and almost no reasons that I can think of that are valid why you shouldn't have price books. A couple of them are, first off, it makes the customers more trusting of you when they can see that the prices that you're giving them are the prices that you seem to be giving to everyone else, because it's written down in a printed formal pricing structure. So they don't feel like, boy, you're over there punching your calculator at the kitchen table. I don't know if you're giving me the same deal you give everybody else, or do you think I'm some kind of sucker or something? And then they're like, well, I don't know if he's giving me a good price. I'm going to have to check out and call 5 other places and stuff and see if that's any good. It makes them a little less nervous when they see a printed price book, knowing what's there and being able to lay it out. That's the first reason. The second reason is, in the heat of trying to make a deal with somebody, you don't want to skip a step, forget something, and really underprice yourself or something, unfortunately, and get to a place of like, okay, we are seriously in trouble now because I made a mistake here and I forgot to include something or whatever. And so that's one reason to have all those, or there's a couple of reasons why you should have those pre-printed if you're doing it. It gets even worse if you have anyone else besides yourself setting prices. If you're letting your salespeople in the field make up prices and set numbers for you, you are setting yourself up for really bad failure, because one person's price will be different than another guy's price, and you have just suddenly turned that salesperson into the guy who's running your company instead of you. They're the ones who are deciding whether the profits are going to be profitable and all those things like that. And what the hell, dude? Why are you letting somebody else run your business for you and try to set prices and stuff? You should not be doing that. So the way it's supposed to be done is you say, here's my printed price books. You may have some other parameters that are under this condition or that condition. You're allowed to discount this much off of it. And that's why you can say, hey, my price is X dollars, $10,000. Right now we're having a sale, 10% off, so now it's $9,000. That makes sense, but now you're still in control of that process, instead of some guy saying, well, the other competitor was 6 and I'll just beat it and be 5,900. You're like, dude, we can't sell it for that. Like, you can't be that number. You don't want to let people make that up, and so you want to have a formalized system of pricing that is written down. So when I say price books, that's what I mean. A formalized, this is a 2-ton, 2.5-ton, a 3-ton, a 4-ton, or whatever. This is this product, that product, that product. You got to have those things done up as formalized pricing. It's the first thing I work with customers on, of my own clients, is working on getting those price books done, because it instantly transforms almost every business to get that done and have it actually pre-printed, or even if it's not printed, even if you're using software, wherever it is where you've got them, someplace where when you show it to people, they go, oh, I see, it's the number, I get it. For one of those, it costs this much. Every retail business in the world has that going on. Try going to Home Depot and looking down, how much is a lawnmower? Well, there's a number right on the tag, right on it. It's right there. That's how much that lawnmower is. There's another one for another price. The different ones, they're priced. You got to have that going on. So that's the first thing. The second thing is, people ask the question, when you're setting this up, should you be doing commission versus some kind of salary, or salary plus commission? Now, I've seen it all different ways. The only way I've ever seen it done effectively is straight commission. the salary plus commission doesn't work because it just allows your salespeople to burn through your leads, because it'll allow them to say, well, I'm still getting paid something, so if I don't close that many, it's okay, you know. And you don't want to be doing that. You want to have a straight commission, and usually the commission numbers are someplace between 6 and 12%, depending on the product and depending on how you set it up. We're back around to knowing your numbers and setting up your price books. This product is this commission. This product is worth this commission. Lots of really important pieces to know in there for why that's important. And when you put someone on salary plus commission, then you're probably setting them up for failure, because the human nature is going to be to not worry about whether they close the particular one that was closable. Now let's get it back to something. We are not trying to close every single customer, and we are not trying to force people to buy something they shouldn't buy, but we are definitely trying to close the customers who are closable, who are the ones who are a good fit for us, because if you're as good as you say you are, it's criminal to let them go buy from somebody else who's not as good. So you definitely have to get good at the persuasion processes here to get a customer to not say, I want to think about it, not say, I want to get 3 bids, not say, let me look into your brand. They need to say, yes, I love everything you're saying. I want to do business with you. It's tell me yes right now, instead of all those other ways that they can get out of it. So those are important things. You got to have that down. So commission is one of the ways that does it, because it sets the incentive for that. Now, if you're a one-person company, should you pay sales commission? Yes, you should pay the sales commission to yourself, because otherwise, the first time someone that's not you sells a job and they have to pay them say a 10% commission, suddenly your whole business is screwed up because you're paying 10% out and you've never done that before. If your business has been paying 10% to somebody, even though the somebody was you, it's a good thing, because suddenly when you hire the first guy who's able to sell for you, whether it's a service tech or a salesperson or whoever, it doesn't completely upset the apple cart and completely screw up your accounting. So yes, you should be paying sales commissions even if you're by yourself. So that's the second piece. Third thing, script versus no script. Most of the sales training that's been done for the last 40 or 50 years in our industry has been taught with scripts. Most of the scripts were invented by coming back around from stuff that was invented to sell life insurance door to door, encyclopedias door to door, Fuller brush salesman, that kind of stuff, where it was high pressure stuff where they're trying to figure out how to verbally get people to do stuff that they don't necessarily want to do. If you're using a no script approach, you're not doing those things. I don't believe in using the high pressure script thing to get people to do something that they don't want to do. I do believe that we have to have a set of bullet points that this has to happen and this has to happen and this has to happen, because that's how we get people to understand what's going on, understand their problem, understand that we can solve it, and then want you to solve it. But it's not the same thing as pressuring them into doing something they don't want to do. So big difference there is the big key is getting to the truth of what's going on and having them tell that truth to you instead of you telling it to them. It's not enough for you to just tell them they have a problem. Have them tell you that they have a problem. At that point, then they will buy your solution. Number one's rule of sales. If they don't think they have a problem, they will not buy your solution. So the best way for them to know they have a problem is for them to tell it to you. So script versus no script. I like no scripts, but I do like to have a bullet point structure. That's what I teach people to do. It's super simple. You don't have to become a really great actor to be able to do it, which, by the way, a lot of scripts are effectively becoming an actor. You know, the people who get the Academy Awards for Best Actor, when they're saying those scripts that are in the movie, they're good enough to make you think they just thought of that stuff, but they didn't. Most of us out in the world are not good enough to get an Academy Award, and when we're using a script, we sound very wooden and very stilted, and we don't sound natural. When you stop using scripts and start using bullet points, then it helps. By the way, what I'm doing right now, when I'm doing a video for you, is not using a script. It's not word for word. I have bullet points, and I know what I'm talking about when I say get to that bullet point, and as soon as I've made the point of that, or as soon as a certain thing has happened in my mind, and hopefully your mind, we move to the next thing. That's the difference between script and no script. So instead of reading off of a teleprompter, I know how to go off of bullet points. It works way better in my opinion, especially in the modern age, because people kind of see that stuff coming a mile away. So we're going to get into lead tracking. Lead tracking is really important. You got to be tracking your results. You got to be tracking how many leads you're getting, how much is it costing you, how much are you selling dollars per lead. You got to be, and you can track closing rate, although I like dollars per lead better. You got to be tracking all those things all the way through your process so that you can tell if you're winning or losing. Imagine playing in any kind of contest, a sports contest or anything, and no one's keeping any statistics. Well, we're just kind of playing. It's like the stupid soccer games they have for 6-year-olds where they don't keep score and everybody wins. It's kind of stupid because how do the kids know if they're getting any better, right? You need to be tracking the leads you got coming in, and you got to know that, hey, this number of leads came in from these sources and they cost this much when we got them. They were worth this much when we sold them. It helps you to track things like your price books, your commissions and stuff, also knowing this kind of lead is worth this much commission in that. You have to have a system in place for lead tracking. Sometimes it's in your software, but even if it is, I also like to use a spreadsheet that tracks it real simple for you. You just put in like 5 or 6 parameters of what's happening every day. It takes like 2 minutes to do, and you can track every day, and then it totals per week, and that it's something I give to all my clients. It's a spreadsheet that tracks leads for you and tells you how well you're doing with different parts of your business, and you can start telling, hey, look, are my leads coming from the service department? Are they really great coming from there, or are they coming from my marketing? What's going on with those? Or the ones I get from the marketing, are those more valuable than the ones from the service department? Maybe the service department, they're easier to close, but they don't close for as many dollars. You want to know all those things so that you can start tracking stuff right. So lead tracking. Then we have lead generation. This is where we get into marketing. And I'm not going to get into it here because marketing is a huge subject. We can go for days and weeks on trying to get that right. But you got to have a lead generation system that you know is working so that there's leads coming in on the back end. And why is that? Because back up to the script versus no script, if you are desperate because it's the only lead you got and the only one you see coming on the horizon, you are going to do things you shouldn't do. You're going to sell things to people that you shouldn't sell because this customer is not the right customer for you, or you're going to sell them things they don't need, or you're going to do things you shouldn't be doing. Yeah, but if you know that, hey, look, it's okay if this customer is one that's not a good fit for me. I need to let that go because I got 5 more coming tomorrow, or I got X number of leads coming in, because they always do. Once you have a good lead generation system in place, it helps your sales today because you psychologically know that your future is got customers coming, and then you don't put pressure on yourself or customers or anyone else to do things that are not good for you or for them. I've been there. I've been in the places where, for example, long ago, we were in the new construction business, and I would suddenly break down. I'm going to sell a new construction job because I need some work because we didn't have leads coming in. Later on, when I learned how to get lead generation, I didn't do that kind of stuff anymore. And every time I did that, it screwed up my business. I went into the new construction business temporarily for a month or two, and I lost so many other sales because I was in the middle of this stupid new construction project, which wasn't even all that profitable. So that was just me losing my focus because I didn't have that lead generation that I knew could come in. So those are the really quick parameters for how to set up a successful sales system across the board. Of course, there's a lot more detail in each of these steps. If you want to talk about it, please let me know, because there's a lot more we work with on people, but these are kind of the basic parameters. You got to have price books. You got to have a commission structure. You got to pay the commission out to somebody. You might as well pay it to you. You got to have like a no script system that works as well as a script system would work. This is my opinion. I don't like scripts just because people see them and they don't like them. They don't like being pushed, and they don't like being being prodded and those backed into corners and things verbally. You got to be able to track your leads, and you got to have a way to generate leads. So those are the keys, and we'll talk soon.